Hey lads, I hope we're all keeping well. My name is Gavin, I'm a barber from Dublin, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to style that 90s mod cut. This was requested in my last video in the comments, so make sure if you want me to do a tutorial on the style you're going for to just leave it in the comments below and I'll get to it. So this is my hair in the morning. I've shampooed and conditioned my hair this morning, so as you can see there's not much texture at all and there's not much volume either. But my hair has now dried, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it. You can just do this tutorial straight out of the shower, you can put your head under the tap, or you can use a spray bottle like I'm going to do today. It really doesn't matter as long as your hair is damp. So we're just going to go ahead and start. First of all, something I should say before I start this tutorial is my fringe is definitely far too long for this style. This isn't a style I actually go for, I'm just doing it for the tutorial today. So as you can see, my fringe comes down past my nose. You want it to be a lot shorter, 2 inches shorter, if you want to get the best out of the style. However, the length on the sides is pretty perfect. This is exactly what you want. It's probably about 2 inches on the sides, something like that. So just keep that in mind if you're going for this style. The first product I'm going to be using is a salt spray. I have the salt spray here from Poseidon. It's definitely the best one I've used. This is going to be the most important product for this tutorial. This style really is that textured sort of beachy look, and this is exactly what this product does. So I'm just going to be using a ton of it. It's definitely important to experiment yourself with different amounts and see what works best for you. I found that I like using a lot of salt spray. It doesn't dry my hair out too much, so I'm just going to start distributing it right now. And the thing is as well, usually in my tutorials you'll see me get a comb. I'm not going to do that at all in this one because we want to add as much natural wave and texture into the hair as possible. So we're just going to let it sit where it wants to. And you're going to see while I'm putting the salt spray in my hair, I'm using this scrunch motion, almost like using my hand as a claw. That's going to separate the hairs and add as much texture as possible. What this motion does as well is it actually allows you to get the product into the roots of your hair better, which is super important. So as you can see, I'm literally putting it all around my head, not just concentrating it in one area. But obviously in the shorter areas, you probably only want to do 1 or 2 squirts, whereas in the fringe on the top of your head, you might want to give it a little bit more. Okay, now that the salt spray is in, we can already start to see some of that beachy wave coming out. The next thing I'm going to do while it's still wet is I'm going to take a grooming clay. I have the grooming clay here from Poseidon Hair again, and I'm actually just going to only add a tiny little bit. This is just going to define that texture and make the style hold a bit better. So as you can see, I'm only putting a tiny little bit in, that's all I have. Just going to rub it into my hands here all over, and I'm just slowly going to use that same claw sort of scrunch thing, particularly around the fringe area, to define that texture, just like that. Also, this is very important. This part underneath your fringe is very important to elevate, otherwise that'll make the style look super flat if you don't. So I'm just making sure to work that in. I'm not too focused on styling at the moment, just trying to work it in there. And that's pretty much everything. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna let my hair air dry. This could take about like 20 minutes. I wouldn't recommend blow drying, but if you are gonna really want to use a diffuser attachment on your hair dryer. It's gonna let the air distribute evenly and not take any texture away from your hair unnecessarily. But for me, I'm just gonna let my hair air dry. It's way less effort and gives it the exact same look. So I'll come back to you guys when it's dry. So now my hair is fully dried. You can see a lot of the texture is already in. Obviously you're seeing now, like I said, my fringe is way too long for this style. If it was a bit shorter, it would look a lot better. From here, there's a few things you can do. One is you can take a little bit more grooming clay and put it in if you're missing a bit of texture. I'm gonna do that now, putting that much on my finger, not much at all. And I'm actually just gonna put it in more of my fingers than my palms. I'm gonna put a little bit in my palms as well, because for this one, I'm gonna focus more on styling. I'm pretty much just going to put it into the fringe here and see this sort of curl motion I'm making, which is just going to add more texture into it. That's actually looking a lot better. And I'm just going to be doing the same on the back here as well. And the very last step is if you want the maximum amount of texture possible, you can use a bit of texture powder here. I have the one from Poseidon too. And this product is super easy to use. Literally all you do is take off the cap. You're going to tap it into your hair just like this, where you're missing some texture. And again, just scrunch it into your hair just like that. So that's actually the finished look. I'll give you a 360 now. If you want to try out any of the products I used in today's video, I'm going to leave a link in the first line of the description. By supporting Poseidon products, you allow me to keep making tutorials like this. So if you do go on to try some, thank you so much. And if you want 10% off your first order, don't forget to use the code WELCOME10. Anyway, I really hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more hairstyling content. Once again, if you have any tutorials you want me to do, make sure to leave them in the comments. And that's everything for today. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.